What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Athletic Aesthetic Podcast. My name is Vinny.
My name's Trey.
And we are here with episode 35?
35.
35 today. And, dude, I think that this is a great episode. I'm really excited to share this one. What did you like the most about the conversation we had?
Man, we're just talking about believing in yourself first, you know what I mean? Betting on you, and I think that's very important to do, man. So if you're somebody out there and you're trying to decide between staying somewhere that you hate or you're like, I don't like where I'm at right now, go bet on you, man.
Go bet on you. Yep, this message is for you, like we're going to get into, you'll see in the intro. And this message is for you if you're an artist out there specifically. I think that this is an episode I wish I would have had when I was in those late nights,
100%.
early mornings, by myself working. Just put this on, let it speak to you. Think about some of the things that we talk about, some of the topics, see how they relate to you. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're following us on social media. Without further ado, this is episode 35. Before we get to the conversation.
What's up, everybody? If you haven't done it yet, you need to do it right now. Go get you some Athletic Aesthetic apparel. And if you ain't see the hats, look at it right here. We got more flavors than an ice cream shop. So get it right, get it done. Come check us out, man, and go get some apparel. We need you because you need us.
That's what I wanted to hear. Swing, thank you. Here we go. Let's
Hey,
turn it up.
speaking of swing, welcome to the show. We have a camera for the producer now.
Let's-
Dude, we have a producer.
Hey,
booth.
everybody.
We have arrived as a podcast. I mean, honestly, at this point,
Damn.
we don't even need to talk about anything. We can just sit here and just, I'm pretty sure that's how podcasting works,
that
right?
what
You don't have
Drake
to
said?
actually talk about anything. You just have to have all the stuff and just sit down and people watch and listen, right?
Every time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you know
heard
what the-
Drake. I could sell a blank disc.
That's a bar right there.
That's where we're at right now.
I could sell a blank disc. Oh, I forgot how you did the rest of the song, but
I don't even know what song you're talking about.
what song is that, Swing?
I don't even. That's an old one.
It's an
That's
old joint, ain't it?
old.
It was on his
It's
Houston,
super
Atlanta.
old.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the mixtape. right?
Yeah, I was about to say that was
Yeah.
one of them beginner stages. That's what
Mixtape
type of
Drake.
Drake I was. Mixtape Drake was my guy. I don't
Yeah.
know this new Drake.
No?
Yeah, painting his fingernails and shit. I mean, no offense. Do what you want to do, but I don't know that Drake.
Yeah, I changed the title of last week's episode from Dogs Will Be Dogs to Pregame Energy. And I did that because, first of all, you were singing. So you were singing that song. And that's why I made the title that, And then I was like, this doesn't fit anything about the episode. So let me just change this. And other things, happened, transpired. And we decided to rename the episode. Welcome to the podcast, guys. I'm so excited about today's episode. Trey, what are we talking about?
Hey, yo. Today we're talking about betting on yourself, right? Especially as a creative and as an artist, man. A lot of times you guys are taking chances on you. And I don't think a lot of people understand that, right? When you look at an artist, they probably think that, oh, he doesn't make a lot of money or it's just a hobby. Like, nah, as an artist, as a creative, bro, you guys do a lot of work to try to earn a lot of money. And there's ways that you could do it and there's ways that you've done it. So I got a question for you and I got a question for Mr. Producer over there, Mr. Swingy Dingy, my dog.
You can't call him that.
I'm going to call him Swingy Dingy. That's my dog.
You can't call him that.
Either way, right? What made you determine for both of you guys? Because you
Yo,
guys both.
Swingy Dingy and Trey Tip is a crazy combination for a nickname duo.
Hide your wives. Hide your wives.
Can't post that.
Why?
For the similar reasons to why the name of last week's podcast.
No, this
got
is
posted.
different.
This is different.
You
Because now
guys
I get in trouble, not him.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
just so I'm just learning, dude, that maybe I shouldn't podcast.
Vinny, you should podcast.
I just
100%.
Either
I
that or
feel
stand-up
like-
comedy.
nah, I'm not ready for that.
So stick with the podcast.
Because I watched it. So let's talk about this because you did the Steel City Impact Gala, and you crushed it.
Thank you.
And when you went up, I actually looked over at some of the people sitting at the table, and I said, I could never do what Trey's about to do. I could never do it. Because when you get up on that stage and you're like, all right, everybody, take your seat, and you got a room full of people that have just deep pockets and don't typically listen to people for a living.
At all.
They tell people what to do. And you're up there going, all right, have a seat. Bro, some sort of trauma would trigger in me if nobody was listening. And this is why I'm not an MC. Because I'd be like, get your ass, can you hear me? Get your ass in a seat. I see you talking. I see you talking. I see you talking. I know you can hear me, so sit down.
That's why you'd be a great MC right there. Because you know what everybody would do? They'd be like, yes, sir.
But you did it with such grace. And, like, you got everybody to sit down without telling them.
Sit the...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, because the moment that they didn't respond, I would go fight or flight.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. It kind of speaks to the topic that we're talking about today, bro. Is betting on yourself. You know what I mean? It's like legitimately when you're doing anything that you're doing, bro. I have so much confidence in who I am as a man. Your money don't make a difference to me. You're a human. You know what I'm saying? So respect me the same way I'm respecting you. If I'm talking to you, pay attention. If you're talking to me, I'm willing to listen. You see what I'm saying? So like it goes back to that conversation, which led to my question. Is like, what inspired you to bet on yourself? Because from my experience and knowing you, man, we talk on so many different occasions, and this is also a question for you, Swing. We've talked in so many different occasions, right? You talking about your past jobs you've done, when you actually started painting and just doing full-time painting, what that experience was like. So speak into that, man, because I know there's artists out there right now trying to do so, they're just scared to.
Let me just say this, Ready?
Ready.
All right, if you are an artist and you are at home, you're sitting maybe in your basement or you're wherever you have a table set up in the corner of your house and you're about to start working on a project, right? I know all the feelings that are going through your mind. Is this project worth it? Is the pay going to be worth it? Should I have asked them for more money? Did I overcharge them? How much time is actually going to be spent on this? Am I going to make it to my cousin's birthday party because I got to finish this by next week?
Come on.
On top of my job, am I going to lose my mind? Am I going to be distracted? And now I'm going to have to stay up late to finish this project, which is going to make me tired for when I go into my actual 9-to-5 job or whatever that pays my bills, because this art is still just something that I have as a giant dream in my head. None of that makes sense to anybody else in this world except for me. But all I know is right now I'm sitting down at my desk to do this next project and hope that it keeps me on this trajectory for this dream that I have in my mind. If that's you right now, this is the video that I want you to watch while you start this project.
Talk to him.
And as you're working, because I've been sitting in your seat, and I probably will be again next week, where I'm sitting down and it's just me in a basement with, everyone in my house is asleep. It's now 11 p.m. I've got all my responsibilities done for the day. It's just me looking at the night thinking, how much work can I get done? And what can I listen to keep me going? What can I drink to keep me motivated and energetic? And how many cups of coffee is this going to take? I get it. I know what it feels like, and it's not comfortable. And so shout out to you if you're watching this, because you're living an uncomfortable life because you feel like there's something churning inside of you that you want to do something more than just the normal status quo. And maybe the hope that we can start this episode with is that I was in your shoes. I still am in your shoes. Those shoes actually never leave. You just find other ways to support that dream. And then eventually the other ways that support that dream in an ideal world, and I'm experiencing this a little bit, actually a lot, is that other means that supports that is going to work together to get you to that big vision that you have in your brain. And what am I saying?
So tell us on why you decided to bet on yourself.
I bet on myself, dude, because nobody else is going to bet on you until you do. Until you prove to yourself, until you prove to those that are, the immediate circle of people. You think about like an underdog when you bet on an underdog in a fight. Usually the people that bet on the underdog are because they're like, no, I see something in this dude that nobody's seen yet.
Right.
That's why they're the underdog.
Right.
He's got an angle.
He's got an edge.
If you're not willing to bet on yourself, then, dude, you probably don't have an angle. You're probably not going to win.
Talk to him. Talk to him.
I bet on myself because I was comfortable already, honestly. I had a job at a bar working as a manager, and then, I just wasn't happy with it going home every night. Every night I'd go home, and it was just something was missing. I don't know what it was, but then picked up a camera, and it was just
yeah.
It was a hobby, but it was this is what I love to do. How do people do this every day? How do I get to that? And it was
Bro, we were talking about the Drake to start old Drake to start this podcast, and I remember when I worked at Finish Line was when one of my favorite albums of all time came out, which was Drake and what was it? Geez, my favorite album of all time. I can't even think of the name of it. Nothing Was the Same. And I was just going through like so much in my life at that time, and like Drake put out this banger of like an emotional album, and I'm just like, dude. I don't know. It just spoke. There was a lot of songs on there. It was like, you know, some of the lyrics spoke to me, and like, you know, the one song about his mom being cooped up in her apartment, like talking about, you know, she's too stressed out to go do shit.
Right.
Like there was a lot of things that were like in my life, as
That was
cliche
like
as
that.
it is to be like, oh, Drake lyric related to my life. But I remember listening to it while I was working at Finish Line when I first got the dream to start customizing shoes back in 2013 when this album came out. Every Sunday, my job would be that I would go into Finish Line an hour and a half before the store opened, and I would have to do inventory in the back, which means you count every shoe that's in the back of the store.
Right.
And I'm sitting there on a Sunday morning, just 1, 2, 3, 4, writing this down. And I just remember just thinking, like, dog, there's more to like what I'm called to do than this, and I just can't wait to figure that out. But if I wasn't there,
You wouldn't have figured it out.
I wouldn't have figured out customizing shoes was part of my avenue. So it's like, I didn't want to be doing that on a Sunday, but if I wasn't doing that, who knows? Maybe I never would have picked up a pair of shoes to customize, because the truth is, the reason I felt confident to pick up a pair of shoes and customize was because I felt like I had a knowledge of shoes now. Before I worked at Finish Line, I didn't grow up in sneaker culture. I didn't grow up having Jordans. Like, I grew up literally going to Payless, getting the cheapest pair of Nikes because I'm going to tear these things to shreds on the playground. And my mom was like, nah, we ain't buying
Ain't going.
we ain't getting no nice shoes. So, like, when I showed up for my first day at Finish Line, I wore a pair of, like, you know, these shitty Jordans that you get from, like, the discount store. And it's like, I thought they were cool. And they're like, bro, these aren't even retro. These aren't even, like, back in, like, 2013, retro was, like, crazy.
Right.
You know, if you weren't wearing retros, it was lame as hell.
Right.
And I'm not saying, you know, that I believe in that. I think, dude, a pair of shoes or a pair of shoes. If you like the pair of shoes, you
like
wear
them.
the pair of the
Yeah.
shoes. But, like, if I didn't learn a lot about sneakers, if I didn't spend all that time working at Finish Line, I may have never started customizing shoes, which may have never led to a YouTube channel, which may have never led to a podcast, which may have never meant that we would have ever met.
And you know what? That would suck. Can't lie. And this is why I said that would suck, bro, because I had a great opportunity and a great chance outside of here, bro. But coming here made me realize that, like, there's nothing better than being around the people who got the same mission and same goals as you do. So I will say this, man. God has a way of putting your blessings in front of you before you even know what your blessings are.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Like, you ain't know that you would be in the sneakers. You ain't know that you was gonna be doing painting shoes, or even for that much, you knew you would be an artist. But what type of artist would you be? You know what I mean? And you found so many different avenues, have created different avenues for other artists to get involved, right?
Yeah.
And then think about this, right? You create an avenue for other artists, right? Then Swing pulls up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're talking about the Exhibit 1. Swing pulls up.
Yeah.
Now Swing.
That's where we met, right?
Yep.
And
The
now think
exhibit.
about that.
That's crazy.
He pulls up. So now
Literally producing my show now.
your
Right.
blessing
Crazy.
is now his blessing. Now we all blessed. That's what I'm saying. But you never know what's going to come out of your blessings, even when it seems dark. Like, it may seem very, very dark, and that's why I wanted to talk about betting on yourself, because 9 times out of 10, when you're betting on yourself, you're in darkness. It ain't
Yeah.
like things are going great. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Or you're like trying to figure it out. You're like, I really might quit my job, or I really might stop doing this, or I really might stop being
Yeah, I
in
mean,
love
if you're
here.
betting on yourself, you are. That's a great point. You're never when you're questioning if you should bet on yourself, then you're totally in the dark because you haven't been proven. But when the script flips and you've proven yourself, now they don't look at you as betting on yourself. They're like, how much are you going to invest?
Come on. Come on. I'm
You're
done
not betting on
betting.
yourself
I'm
anymore.
investing.
You're investing. So, like, maybe you can make that mental switch right now if you're listening,
Talk to
where
him.
it's like, maybe you don't have to worry about, you know, I mean, well, investing is a form of betting in a way. You know what I mean? It's like you could lose it. It's investing and betting is the same thing,
One and
but
the
like the
same.
way you shape it in your mind, there's this negative connotation to betting where it's like there's this mindset of investing where if you do it smart, it's the smartest thing you can do.
Right.
Whereas sometimes, you know, betting has this negative connotation because it's like, oh, the degenerate gambler that like loses all of his money. Well,
Right.
guess what? There's people in the stock market that do that every single day.
Every single day, bro. Every day. And that's what's even crazier, bro. I said this to somebody the other day. I said, here's the thing. I don't judge anybody for what they believe in, right? But you better believe in something. Because behind belief is faith. And in front of faith is belief. If you don't believe in yourself, right, then what faith do you have in your life? If you have no faith in life, then what's the chances that you actually believe in yourself? Think about that for a second. With no faith, right? You don't believe in a God, you don't believe in anything else. You put it on your shoulders, but you don't even believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So now, where
Yeah.
do you look to? Where do you turn to?
And think about this too, like if you know that you don't believe in yourself, like deep down, a lot of that comes from doubt or
Come
like,
on.
negative
Come on.
self-talk that you replay in your mind, all this stuff. Imagine like just I'm not saying you are God, but like just take yourself out of like the human experience. Say that you created some being and that it was living and that you knew all of its thoughts.
Mm.
And you want to give that person or being responsibility, right? And then you're like, let's tap in and see what they're thinking about. And like God tunes into you, right? And you all he hears is, man, I ain't shit. I can't get this done. I have no talent. I have no skill. Well, God ain't going to be like, well, all right, well, here's more responsibility. He's going
Nah.
to go, well, hold on. Let me pull a couple things back.
Right. Let me get
Like,
you right.
You got to switch your thinking. And I mean, whether you believe in manifestation or not, but like, you need to start believing that you are something before you are something.
Come on.
And if you don't, you're not going to get there.
Bro, Brian's pastor told me the other day, he's told me, God gives you vision for where he sees you going, not where you're at right
Come
now.
on, talk that talk.
And
Talk that talk. Come on.
sent chills down
Yep.
me because it was like, man, I've had the biggest dreams in my life, and it's like I just feel like I can't get there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, nah, just keep working, keep
Yeah.
getting to it because
It's preparation.
it's all it is.
It's
It's all it
preparation,
is,
bro.
man.
You are not ready for your blessings just yet, so God is preparing you for that blessing. I don't have dreams anymore. I have a lot of goals.
Yeah.
A lot of things that I've seen in my life is like, oh, I'm done wishing. What are you wishing for? You feel me? Like you have opportunity to go make whatever you want in your life happen. And if it doesn't happen, it was either God's decision or it was your decision.
Yeah, there's people probably like, I said this episode's for the artist. Like we talk to an audience of artists and athletes here,
Every
right?
time.
But also the athlete I want to speak to here. Maybe you sat on the bench all season because you needed a new perspective and you need to like grind really, really
Yep.
hard. And because you sat on the bench and ate shit for an entire season, now you're gonna be a dog next year because you're like, I don't want to feel that again.
I'm not
Like,
going there no more.
And so to relate that to art, maybe you're working this shit job because God wants to open something for you there.
100%.
That you're gonna need a piece of that
Come on.
where you're going.
Come
like
on.
like I said with the shoes, dude, I did not want to be counting shoes on a Sunday morning when all my friends are like still, hung over, like partying the night before. Like this is the phase of life I was in, where it was like I was going through a lot, and so like I would go out, a lot, and I would have to wake up and just do this job that I was just like, dude, whatever. But like I knew that I was supposed to be leading. I had a bigger vision. I had a bigger hope than wanting to just go out every night
Right.
and like,
Bro,
after a while.
if you ask God for strength, he's not going to give you strength. He's just going to give you opportunities to be strong. If you ask him for patience, he's not going to give you patience.
Dude,
He's
ain't
gonna
that
ask
a
you.
bitch?
He's just going to give you opportunities to learn patience. Like your trials and tribulations are everything.
Yeah,
It's
that sucks.
like
It's the
Like I just
truth.
want to download
Like,
the strength. Like
right?
there's got to be an
There's
AI
no- there's
software
no
for strength by
DLC
now
for
that
this.
don't make me have to go through the.
Hey, listen.
They're like,
that's-
yo, I want bigger biceps. All right, well, here's weights.
You
facts.
feel me?
Facts.
Like how you can't the first time you ever work out, someone bench 300
No.
if you never picked up a weight before. It's the same situation. You can't go into a situation and say, I want to be a millionaire, but you ain't prepared to be a millionaire.
Do the reps, man.
and if you can, you were built for more.
You would come on. So you got to be in the position.
yeah, that's lightweight.
You got to
Right.
be in position, bro. For real. You got to put yourself in position, but you also have to be in position. So what are you doing in order for you to achieve your dreams? Are you putting yourself around people who also believe in you? And that's just something that you really got to see, right? Is because if you're betting on yourself, you better have people around you who are also betting on you.
Yeah.
Because there's times where you're going to start losing sight of your dream. Because
Right.
sometimes it doesn't always work.
Oh, dude, I lose sight of my dream by noon every day. Like, for
Seriously,
real.
though.
Like,
Like,
are you kidding me? If you're sitting there like, maybe I shouldn't do this because I was, tired or I like
Yeah.
don't feel like doing it for a week. Like, are you kidding me? Like, yeah, you probably shouldn't do it then because that's going to not go away.
it's never going to go
When
away.
the money comes or whatever the big payoff for your vision comes, those problems just get magnified.
Come on.
So like if you really genuinely like have some things you need to work through now and you think money's going to solve them when you get there, then
Nah.
you better start working now. Like
Nah.
start working on it now cuz imagine I told Swain we ran to get coffee before this. I had a guy who I met when I lived in Charlotte and he struggled with addiction, medication, pills, and heroin, actually. Like, he was caught up in all kinds of stuff. And, you know, he had struggled with it his entire life. And I asked him, I was like, you know, like, what is it like to feel addicted to, you know, that substance or whatever? Like, because I don't understand it.
Right.
I don't know what that feels like to live your life constantly wanting something that you know is bad for you.
Right.
And, I mean, that's very privileged of me to say, because I'm sure there are things that I don't even realize are so bad for me that I desire on a daily basis, and I continuously do it, you know? And so it's like, whatever their battle is, you know, that person's battle is unique. But for him, the way he described it to me was so crazy. He said being addicted to stuff like that is like there's a presence in the corner of the room that is doing push-ups nonstop. And you know, every once in a while, you're going to have to walk past, because that's just the path of your life, the path of you walk into the kitchen. You got to walk past that being that's doing push-ups. And the more you stop and, like, acknowledge that being, he stops working out. And it sucks, but you got to deal with him, and you can fight him. But if you stop fighting him, guess what he's doing?
Getting stronger.
Bro, just getting yoked in the corner. And then the next time you, like, slip up and you go to approach him again, he knocks you out, bro. Like, that's what you're fighting against with your mental game right now as an artist, as an athlete, whatever it may be. You are in that space where you're like, man, do I wrestle with these feelings? Do I wrestle with these things, or do I hide from them? I promise you, if you hide from them, they are getting stronger.
They're coming to get you.
They're going to come back stronger. You better start wrestling, bro. Like,
you got to be a good fighter, bro.
We talk about pushing the rock up the hill. It's not a rock, it's a snowball. Bro, that shit gets bigger every time. You push it, it just gets bigger and heavier and heavier. It's like it pushes back, so you just keep grinding. Like, eventually you get to the top of the hill, though, and then you push it back down. And then you're good.
What's crazy is
I don't know, though, dude. I don't know that you ever get to the top of the hill.
You don't think?
I don't think I'll ever get to the top of the hill.
We talked about that briefly.
I think that I will become more conditioned to push the rock.
Yeah.
You just get stronger.
I genuinely, there is no top, there is no hilltop.
You just get stronger.
There's always a higher mountain.
Yeah, because we've talked about it, how, like, one day we're going to reach our goals and go to each other's nice houses and stuff and, like, throw house parties and stuff. But then we were talked about it, and we were like, bro, we're never gonna be home. We grind too much.
That's
we'll never
it, dude.
Stop.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Ready? We talked about it last week. You're living in the good now.
This is the moment.
Because when we get to those weddings, when we get to those celebrations, guess what we're going to be thinking about? The bigger issue that's on hand, and we're not going to be able to enjoy it. And if you can't enjoy right now all the shit you're dealing with, because you're like, I want to get there, guess what happens when you get there? You're going to be dealing with this shit there.
Yep. You're never going to be happy.
You're never going to be happy.
You got to love yours, like J. Cole said, bro. That's why I love that song. Love yours. Love what you got. Love what you're currently going through, bro. At the end of the day, it's what you're supposed to be doing. It's what you're supposed to be going through. So therefore, don't let yourself get too caught up in the future when you haven't took a step in the present.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like, you may be listening to this and you're like, you don't know my situation, right? Like, it could be really, really bad.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I done seen a lot of bad ones.
So I just wanted to put that in there to, like, say, like, if you don't know us, maybe this is the first time you're tuning in, like, we haven't been, you know, just speaking on the things that you've been through in your life, and I see you go through in your life, like, we're not sitting here from a place of, like, we don't come from an easy life. You know, we haven't had nothing to overcome.
Hey, now. It sure ain't that. I know that.
You know, so I think there's a lot of people out there, though, that speak to that. They speak about, just have have a positive mindset.
Nah.
And it's like, you have not had an ounce of debt in your life. You didn't inherit debt. You inherited wealth. Like, I'm not saying that what their words are saying aren't true. It's just that I don't want people to think that we're just, like, preaching from, like...
Nah, man, and it all comes from a place of love, man. And you got to understand that. Like, we only talk about what we go through and what we've been through, right? And here's the biggest thing about it. You got to be your biggest cheerleader, because if not, bro, then who's going to cheer on? Who's going to cheer on?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you're feeling off, who's going to cheer on? Who's going to put you forward? If you don't put yourself forward, then you're counting on everybody else to do something for you that you should be doing.
Ooh. How many cheerleaders are in your life because they want people to know they're a cheerleader, versus how many cheerleaders really want to be on the sideline because they just want to get as close to the game as they possibly can for you?
I'll be honest with you, bro. I typically don't keep a lot of, if I'm keeping it a whole stack with you, like, I only keep the ones who are actually cheering me on because they know what I've been through.
But how many are standing next to those
Just
ones
to-
just to look at the crowd and be like, look at me in my cheer uniform?
And there's probably a lot of acquaintances to them. You feel me? Like, I have a lot of acquaintances. I don't have a lot of friends.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And that's the one thing that I find is different, bro, is because, like, my friends are my family. You feel me? My acquaintances, I see them in passing. And those are the ones that you see that's trying to stand next to the person that you know. You know what I'm saying? Trying to say that they know you.
Yeah.
Those type of guys, you give them respect and their dues because they just trying to give love. Even if it's not extreme love, they still trying to give love. You feel me? And ultimately, that's all you can ask for. Like, I'm not in the hating culture. I don't understand the hate culture, bro. Like, I'm not a fan, bro. Just because, like, you see a lot of people get negative when somebody goes ahead and tries to congratulate them. Like, where was you at when I was, bro? Where was who at?
Yeah.
Where was nobody was there, bro. Nobody lives your life.
Yep.
You can't expect people to, bro. You can't expect people to live the lifestyle that you live, bro. That's why you respect every moment for what it is. That's why, like, for me, bro, I try to live in the moment, bro, because I don't know how many moments I get with Vinny Kenelor. I don't know how many moments I get with Logan Douglas or Tyler Stratton or Brian Hess. I don't know how many.
When
I
you
really
say his
don't.
name, it really throws me off.
I'm
by
Logan
the way.
Douglas for the record.
Yeah, and that's Logan Douglas for the record. Swing man.
Audience
But-
is like, who?
But dead serious, though. Like, think about it. Like, you don't know how many moments you get, and we all do it, bro. Every single time we all do it. When somebody passes away, we always say, I wish I had.
Mm-hmm.
Stop wishing and start doing.
Yeah, I noticed that when my dad passed away, the amount of stories that came out telling me about how
on.
such a great guy. I'm like, dude, how cool would it have been if you just called me on or called him on that day? Because he probably has no idea that you felt that way about
At
that
all.
day. Like,
At all.
you sent me a video the other day on the way in, and you were just like, you know, inspiration, just like hyping me up and telling me you're thankful for me. And but like, dude, that's the kind of shit that matters. Like, you know, I
And
felt
it wasn't a Snapchat. It was like an actual
Yeah.
video. It's still in my messages. I got one too.
Bro sent me
Brian
a
got
video.
one.
I
Like-
want to make sure, because in my goal, bro, and I learned this from Brian a little bit, I want to make sure that there's days that you have bad days, you can go to that video and be like, somebody's looking out for me.
Mhm.
You feel me? Because at the end of the day, bro, like, if I'm constantly showing love to the world and not to the people I love, how much of a percentage do I have left for the people that actually matter?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, if I'm not showing love to the people who matter, right, then I'm giving too much of myself to people who don't even know me.
Yeah.
And I refuse to do so. So I try to show that love. I try to show that genuine feeling of love, bro. Because I'm not scared to say this, bro. As men, bro, we gotta love harder. What makes a strong man is a soft heart. Not saying that you gotta be weak. Not saying that you gotta be soft. But what it means is the fact that it doesn't matter how you love somebody, love that person. Is it tough love? Sometimes. Is it good love? Sometimes. Is it just being an ear? Sometimes. But loving on each other is so important because if you don't, bro, who's gonna do
No,
it?
That's why when we ask for you to get involved with what we're doing here at the show, that's why.
That's
Because
why.
I know that like I said, I've been in your shoes.
Come on.
You don't have anybody speaking positively into your life. Your parents, your spouse, your kids, whoever it may be that's seeing you try to launch this dream as an artist and do the impossible. Like, maybe they will come around, but maybe right now they're not really sure. And because they've seen you unsure, they're unsure. And so, like, give them grace that they will come around. I've had people in my life that were like, you know, like, I could just say, you know, that, oh, tell me about your art. But it's like, tell me about your little business. Or, like, tell me about your, like, you know, oh, you paint some cool shoes. Like, you know, and it's like there's condescending nature to, like, what they're saying. And it's almost
feel
like,
it.
you could feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, how's that little business of yours kind of feel? And it's like, well, you know, if that's you, the reason we want you to join our community and subscribe and do all the things on our page is because we're trying to attract people that will give you more people in your life that you can turn to for that positivity. If we create a community here and we have the events like the exhibit, if we create an online community, like, now you have people to turn to when nobody in your life is giving you anything you need. Like, you have people to be like, you're not crazy. You're not insane for having this vision. And, yeah, I don't know. So this is the Athletic Aesthetic podcast, man. And I want to have more conversations about this. We went back and just kind of planned out, like, you know, some content. You and Tyler sat down, and I'm really excited to have some of these conversations and to remove, like, the like I felt pressure to like bring something to this show more
Right.
than just what's on my heart.
Right.
Because when I sat down to the initial episode, I'm like, I need to do mock-ups. And I still want to do all this on like social and like share clips on the channel. So like if you came here for that and you're not getting it through the show,
Talk to him.
it's coming. Like I still have a desire to do that.
We coming.
But I just feel like there's just a couple things. We need to build the community outside of just that, because I think with the clips and the mock-ups, it's really easy for people to just kind of come and go. Like, I got
100%.
the mock-up. That's cool. It gave me my dopamine hit for my favorite team, seeing them in a different uniform.
Right.
And that's it. There's no community built there.
Right.
This is where the community is being built. We're speaking to artists. We're speaking to athletes, providing a space for you to find a little bit of encouragement and hope, and knowing that, like, you know, if depending on where you're looking at us, you might be looking at us like, oh, they made it. Or maybe you're above us and you're watching this and you're like, oh, they're still figuring it out. Like, the truth is we're everywhere on that scale every day.
Every day.
If you guys would have found us like 4 months ago, before this studio, and see us now, you for sure would be like, those guys made it. I can promise you, over the last week, this is the least feeling of made it that I've had in a while. We're
Yeah.
grinding over
Hey,
here. Like,
grinding.
in real life, we're with you.
Hey, man. So do me a favor, if you're watching this podcast, bro, stop calling them dreams. Start calling them goals. You understand? Like, you have every opportunity, every piece of ability to chase whatever it is in life that you want. You just ain't know the right tools just yet. And if you don't know the right tools, we got this thing called Google and the internet that you can find the right tools. It might take a little bit of time, a little bit of preparation, but go do that. Go figure it out, man. It took my man T-Strap 4 years for him to figure it out on how to do it right. It took him several years to figure out on how to do it right.
Lifetime.
It took a lifetime to do the things that you want to do in life to get it right, but because everything that is worth it sometimes just takes time. So take the time, man, and if you're paying attention, jump on board, because this is no longer just a podcast, it's a movement. You understand? Like, love the people around you. Be a part of the movement. Join the team, man. Like, share, comment, and everything in between, man. It's important.
Love you, bro.
Love you too, man.
This is Athletic Aesthetic.
And we love you.